everyone, it's Dr. Deb Lindh with Mindful Effect, and welcome to part 2 of our Survivor to Warrior series. And first I want to say thank you again to everybody for sending me those personal emails. I had expected to receive a bunch of comments on the video and on our blog, and yet people again took time to send me personal emails and comments. So thank you so much, and I'm going to get to answering some of those in just a bit. But first I wanted to talk with everybody a little bit about a recap of what we did last time. So the first video series, what we did was we explored the why. Why do we want to do this? Why are we thinking about doing something this? And basically what the why does is it gets to understanding who we are and really knowing our true selves and understanding who we are and taking a look at ourselves honestly and answering those why questions honestly. And those why questions give us a foundation and a fundamental of who we are, why we tick, why are those things the way they are, where do they come from, why are they so important to us, why they're not important to us, and why they're still there. So the why gives us, again, a foundation of understanding our true self and answering those questions honestly. So today I'm going to teach you one specific technique that people can use right away and that give real-time results. And so what I mean by real-time results, I mean that you can go out and use this anytime, any place, anywhere, and have an instant response, an instant positive response. Before I get to teaching the technique, I want to take a few minutes to talk about two questions that came up that were common questions that people were sending me. And the first one is, what exactly is post-stress growth? Well, post-stress growth is a term that I coined, and it really came from post-traumatic growth. And post-traumatic growth derived from post-traumatic stress disorder. And it's when a trauma situation happens, something that is so traumatic, it's deemed as a trauma event, and that something positive grows out of it. An example of this is Candy Leitner. She is the mom who lost a daughter to a drunk driver and established the foundation Mothers Against Drunk Driving. So here was this traumatic situation of losing a child, and what grew out of that was a foundation, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, that not only helps educate people about the effects of drinking and driving, but also has the influence of making legislative changes, as well as political influences and also behavioral changes. So post-traumatic growth comes out of a traumatic situation. And like post-traumatic growth, we have post-stress growth. Most people experience stress, and we can actually take those situations, those stressful times, and create something positive. So hence we have the term post-stress growth. So great question, and thanks again for asking that. With the Survivor to Warrior series, people will be experiencing post-stress growth also. We're going to be teaching exactly how to do that and what does it look like. The second question that was really common that came up was about sustainability. So what makes this program that we're talking about and all these techniques sustainable? So meaning not being put back on the shelf and being the flavor of the day, or me, just coming out here and saying this works and actually not doing it. And the answer to that question is it all comes down to you. It all boils down to you. This is something that is, I can tell you right now, it's not a task. So if people are thinking, I'm going to go out and I'm going to learn how to do this, and then you know what, it's just going to be a task that I'm going to do. The stuff doesn't work that way, because we're working with positive psychology, we're working with psychology, the social sciences, and then also we're working with brain science. So for it to be a task would be misrepresenting exactly what we're doing. On the other hand, if people want to make a commitment to themselves and they're at the point where they're saying, you know what, enough is enough, I need to do something. Again, that Dorothy moment similar to the Wizard of Oz where Dorothy is standing there and she's saying to the Scarecrow, which way do I go? And he says, well, you can either go this way or you can go that way. If people continue to go down the path that they're on right now, we already know where that path is going to lead. I mean, you already know the answer to that. I don't need to tell you that. You already know where this is going to go down. On the other hand, if you are ready and willing to do whatever it takes and to make that commitment, then you'll have the sustainable change, because this becomes part of your everyday life. And how it becomes part of your everyday life, because it's about total concentration. It's about being in the zone. So you don't have to think about it. You just do it. There's no hype with this. There's no fancy woo-woo, jargon and anything like that. It's all about commitment and in the zone. Let me give you an example of this. So today, I had a person who was really pushing me. I mean, this guy was so funny when this happens, because I just want to say to people, okay, you know what? This is what I do. This is my life. This is what I do for a living. Anyway, this guy was just pushing and pushing and pushing. And I just sat there and I was calm. I was relaxed. And I finally just said, man, this isn't about me. This is about you. And I get that. I get that. Let me teach you a couple things here. And the cool thing is everything worked out really well. And I love when these situations happen, because I'm in the zone. I mean, this is, again, what I do. This is my life. I'm in the zone. I'm cool. And I got somebody else, bouncing like a bouncing bean in front of me, trying to get me going. And yet everything, worked out. And I smiled and said to him, hey, you don't have to send me, any billable time. This one's on me. But it all boils down, again, like I said, to commitment, being in the zone, and having this as an instant response. So there is no sustainability. There isn't this, how do I keep this going? Because it becomes an instant response. You don't think about it. It just happens. It happens. And it continues to happen. And it continues to work. Another way to look at this is when people go to work, do you go to work for the paycheck, or are you going to work for the mission? Now, people are saying, what the heck are you talking about? Of course I go to work for the paycheck. If your sole purpose is to go to work for the paycheck, then I got to tell you, you don't know what I'm talking about right now. And most likely this isn't going to work, because you're not in the right mindset. You're not where you need to be with the commitment of doing whatever it takes. On the flip side, if you think about it and you say, yeah, you know what? When I show up, I'm there for the mission. I'm there for the bottom line. I am there for the mission. I'm there for the purpose of the company. I'm there for what we're trying to accomplish, what our goals are. I'm there for the mission, and I'm all in. Then you know exactly what I'm talking about, and this program is perfect for you. So moving from the why to the what. What's the purpose of doing this? What does it matter? Because I'll tell you why it matters. It matters because we can be cool, calm, and collective in our own home. Everything can be going really super great, and then we totally blow it when it matters. When we totally blow it, we lose touch with what's going on with us, what's going on around us, what are we doing, what are we saying, what are we thinking, what's happening around us. So we need to answer those questions. Another question I want to ask everyone is, what are people listening to? What are you watching? What are you listening to? What are you reading? Did you know that all of those things that we listen to, that we watch, and that we absorb, whether it's what we're reading on the newspaper, we're surfing the internet, what books that we're reading right now, what music we're listening to, did you know that all programs your brain? That all programs your subconscious mind. And why does this matter? Is because it's what we think is what we believe, and it's what we become. So think about that. If I showed you my office right now, I'm videotaping in my office. I have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 6 bookshelves in my office, and they're all filled with books. I have everything from business books to books on psychology to books on neuroscience. I've got books by some great authors. Berg, Tracy, Cardone. I mean, I've got them all. Why? Because these are people who are writing about stuff that inspire me, that keep me going. The other thing I have in my office is I have pictures of my family. I have pictures of my dog. I have memorial cards of my dad and my grandparents. I have a note that my father wrote me a long time ago. See, I surround myself with stuff that inspires me. I don't fill my brain with junk. Junk in, junk out. Garbage in, garbage out. It works the same with our brain. It works the same with our brain. It works the same with our, not only our brain, but also our mind and our emotions and our physical selves. So my question to you again is, what are you thinking? What are you reading? What's going on around you? What are you watching? And is it really what you want? Does it represent who you are? Again, thinking about ourselves here, right? And our stress. We're going to make some sort of change. And if we want it to be that instant response, we need the commitment, doing whatever it takes, the whatever it takes commitment, and then looking back and saying, okay, so what am I filling myself with? And is that what you really want? And answer the question, what is it that you really want? Is it happiness? Is it for those tapes to stop playing? Is it for just peace and calm? I mean, people send me stuff all the time where they specifically want one thing. I got something today that someone said, you know what? I don't want to make a lot of money. I just want to be happy. And then I sent a response back to her and I said, all right, you need to tell me more about what that means, because happiness to me means something different. It could also mean the same, but you need to tell me what it means and then I can help you. So what is it? What is it? So the one technique I want to teach everyone right now goes back to this what question. What are you doing? What's happening around you? What are you watching? What are you thinking? What things do you respond to? What gets your goat? What are you reading? What are you listening to? You know, there's a song right now, I have to tell you, I don't even know the name of this artist. And I should figure out the name of this artist. But anyway, the premise of the song is I have to keep myself high all the time because you're not in my life. And people probably know what song I'm talking about. But anyway, this song, I don't like this song. And the reason why I don't like this song is because it teaches us that it's okay to drink ourselves as a coping mechanism because we are out of a relationship. It is the most destructive song. It's not only destructive in the sense of, wow, it's depressing and it really makes you feel like crap listening to it. It's a downward spiral song. And the road that it leads to is not a favorable one. It doesn't have a good outlook. As opposed to reflecting back on a relationship and saying, you know what? I'm glad it ended. You want to know why? Because every time a relationship ends, guess what? The door opens. It's about our mindset. What are we listening to? What are we programming our brain with? What are we surrounding ourselves with? You know, people talk about negativity. It's another question that I got from someone was, how do I handle my family that are so negative? I mean, this I don't know if it's a man or a woman, but this person had said, you know, I really want to stop being around my family. Every time that I do, you know, I start vomiting, I have diarrhea, and I simply just don't want to do it anymore. And when relationships like that are so toxic, at some point we're going to have to make a decision. I mean, I made that decision. I mean, it's not an easy decision, but again, it goes back to, are you willing to do whatever it takes for your life to be healthy, whole, happy, balanced, profitable, financially independent? Because you can't keep doing the same thing and expect different results. I mean, Einstein taught us that. What do you fill in your head with? And are you willing to do whatever it takes to make this change? Bottom line, that's the question. You know, again, I have friends. I went yesterday walking with a dear friend of mine, and I love my friends. I love my friends dearly. You know, they accept me and I accept them. And one of my friends is really struggling right now with a career decision, and we've talked about this for at least 2 years. And we're going for, you know, our walk, and I'm listening to her and I'm patient. You know, and she's like, why do you still listen to me talk about this? And I said, because when you're ready to make the change, I'm there to help you. That's why. I know right now you're not ready to make it. You still need to process it and talk about it. And that's okay. That's okay. My concern for everybody out there is that we get stuck. We get stuck, right? The why. If we stay with the why wants us to be stuck. And when we get stuck, we're not going anywhere. We're not moving forward, but life continues to happen. and everybody moves forward, but we don't. We still get old, right? We're still getting older because, you know, our body physiologically continues to get older, but we stay stuck. And that is one thing that I really don't want for people. I would like to be able to help people unstuck and become unstuck, which actually leads me to what our next video is going to be talking about. So the next video is going to come out on the 4th of July. And I got something really special planned for people for the 4th. You know, one thing that I'm really terrible at, I mean, people who know me and who read my Twitter, they know this. When I have a surprise going on and I'm like, it is a good one, I just absolutely suck at keeping surprises quiet. If it's somebody else and they're telling me something that they're doing, not a problem at all. I mean, you know, mum's the word, I'm your gal. But when it comes to me actually planning stuff for other people, it's awful. It is. Because I just get so jazzed and so excited about it that I simply can't keep it a secret. And what I've got planned for the 4th is so freaking cool. It really is. It's awesome. So today I taught one technique, and on Friday? No, the 4th. I'm going to be teaching 3 techniques. And the cool thing about it is these are super awesome for people that are in the military, folks that are veterans, caregivers to vets with PTSD, any type of post-trauma, individuals, just regular people with post-traumatic stress, whether it's a first responder like I mentioned, nurses, doctors, people who work in an ER, caregivers of vets, caregivers to people with special needs, children, elderly, you know, aging parents, those types of heightened stress moments. So the 3 techniques I'm going to be teaching on the 4th are going to be things that people can use, again, real time and experience instant results. And it focuses on those specific areas, which is really, really super cool. And, you know, it just happens to be on the 4th. And again, I've been getting a lot of questions and comments from people that are in the military and that are vets about the techniques that we have at Mindful Effect. The other thing that I can tell you, again, I'm really terrible at keeping surprises, is that these 3 techniques reduce stress instantly and increase calm. And the great thing is they all have the mind-body connection. So with the fight-flight response and also the freeze response, it immediately addresses those 3 areas. So before I close, I'd like to ask another favor. I know I've been asking people favors, and I have to, again, thank everybody for just your generosity. I mean, really, the amount of time and the personal notes that people are sending. I thought for sure that people would be posting comments on the blog and then also, you know, on the YouTube channel. And yet people are sending me private messages and in emails. So, and I really appreciate that. So my next favor is going to be to continue to post your comments, your questions, whether it's on our blog post or on the YouTube page. People can also reach out to us on our Twitter feed at Deborah Lindh, DebraLindh, or also at mindful_effect. And send us the email again. The email address is Deborah, Debra, at themindfuleffect.com. Again, this is Deborah Lindh with Mindful Effect. And until next time, make it a great day, everybody. And again, thank you so much. We'll see you again.